We are entering into a world now where there will be not 4 teams in the college football playoff, but I don't have 12 fingers. There will be 12 teams in the college football playoff. I was going to try and do that thing where you move your hand over to the other and show that there's more now, added teams. Bottom line, we got 12 teams. That's going to be a whole lot of freaking fun. But as we have mentioned many times on this show, that drastically changes the way that you view the regular season. That's not me getting to my soapbox right now, but I think it helps us reframe this discussion around what could happen in terms of teams that could make the college football playoff. Because it used to be, hey, you get 2 losses, you go to sleep. That's it for you. Pack them up. Thank you so much. There's a car to pick you up. You will not be headed to the college football playoff this season. You're going home. That was kind of the reality show thought behind the college football regular season previously. Now, I don't think it's irresponsible for us to believe that a 9-3 team could find their way in to this 12-team field. Last year, the highest ranked 9-3 team was LSU. They were at number 13 in that final college football playoff rankings. It's worth noting, though, one of those 12 spots will be occupied by a G5 champion. So a team could be ranked like number 20-something or 15 in the AP poll, but if they're the G5 champ, let's just say it's Tulane, they would ultimately take one of those 12 spots. So some things have to happen. It's not, I'm not saying that it's going to be likely, but I do think it's possible. Full disclaimer, the way this would have to happen for these teams, you cannot get blown out. You cannot lose to an inferior or unranked opponent, and all of your 3 losses have to be respectable or to a highly ranked team, and they have to be close. Have to be close. I'm talking like ideally a field goal or less, but if it's a touchdown, we'll have a conversation about it. Kind of one of those things where the teacher leaves you a note and says, hey, see me after class. See me after class if it's a 1-loss score that's right around a touchdown. We'll talk about it. But with that being said, I think there is not 1, not 2, but 3 teams that could all make the college football playoff with a 9-3 record. The first team we got to talk about here is the Florida Gators. Florida's schedule is based on a movie plot, a really successful movie franchise, if you will, called The Hunger Games. They play 8 opponents that are all ranked in the top 25 in the preseason. Florida could go 8-4 and be a top 15 team in the country if we're just going to be honest here. It has to be the right 3 losses, has to look a certain way like we already established. A key thing for me here with Florida, if they're going to make this 12-team field as a 9-3 team, I need a top 5 win, Florida. I need it. I'm not asking. I'm telling. I need a top 5 win if we're going to let you in the dance with that 3-loss tattoo on you, okay? In a perfect world, if I'm being greedy now, and I am being greedy, I need that top 5 win to be from Georgia. I need you to go to Jacksonville. I need you to get a dub. It's asking a lot, yes, but so is making the college football playoff as a 9-3 team. So that's where we're at right now. The ranked opponents they have on their schedule start with Miami in the Swamp. You got Texas A&M, Tennessee, Kentucky, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, and you finish up with Florida State. As we already established, you cannot have any of your 3 losses be to Samford, UCF, or Mississippi State. Also worth noting for Florida, I do not believe that you can make the college football playoff as a 9-3 team if you lose more than one of your final 4 games. Recency bias, let's just be honest here. We're all about transparency on this show. It's a real thing. It's a real thing with the college football playoff. It's going to be a real thing with Florida. The perfect storm, the perfect formula, if we're just kind of drawing it up right here for Florida to make the college football playoff with 3 losses, here's the 3 losses that I would personally need. I need A&M to be really good when we play them. I need A&M to be like top 15. If you can somehow have them be higher than the top 15 and be in the top 10, amazing. Top 15 is probably where you would see them at in the perfect world. You lose to A&M close. Okay. Top 10, Tennessee. You play them. It's back and forth. It's close. Nico has a big day. Maybe it goes to overtime. You lose to them. And then your loss in November is at Texas. Okay? At Texas. So you have a loss at Tennessee and a loss at Texas are the 2 of the 3 losses in my mind. Now, if that happens, that means you beat Georgia. I'm just going to come right out and say I think Georgia will be the number 1 ranked team in the country when you play them. Nice little feather in your cap. It also means that you finished 4-1 of your last 5, so you get a little recency bias momentum. Potentially, could be 4 top 10 wins to finish the year right there for Florida. I think that would be enough to sneak you in. You need a little bit of chaos, need a lot of teams to also drop games to get you into that discussion, but I think 9-3 for Florida, they have the best chance, in my mind, to make the college football playoff as a 9-3 team. Now, I love the content creator ecosystem that we have in this college football world. Like SEC Mike, quick plug, one of the best in the game. Go follow him on Twitter. Him and Cousin Shane just produce heaters at all time. And he had a clip that he posted on social media talking about Oklahoma as a 9-3 team getting in the dance. And I agree with him. Here's what I need to happen. I need that the teams that are supposed to be good for Oklahoma on their schedule, the teams that they play that are supposed to be highly ranked, I need them to be good when we play them in November. Specifically, I'm talking about Mizzou. That'll be a whole lot of rivalry fun. I'm talking about Alabama. Feel confident in saying that. I'm talking about LSU. LSU, got to get the defense going a little bit, baby. Also, would like to see Tennessee be good. That helps us a lot. The obvious disclaimers, got to have close losses. Got to have those losses be to teams that are highly ranked. Can't have a loss to Auburn, right? At Auburn, Jordan Hare will be popping off, so you can't have a loss there. Can't have a loss against South Carolina. The perfect storm for me is a loss to just putting my hands together here, I need it to be a top 10 Tennessee. Top 10 Tennessee, because that would be a loss at home, but it would be early enough in the schedule to where I think you can kind of recover a little bit. I need a loss in Red River to a top 5 Texas. Again, got to have it close. Hate that we're talking about losses, but that's kind of the segment here. And then I need a loss to a top 5 Ole Miss. Those 3 losses, if those teams are all ranked as I just mentioned, I think you're set up for a nice little run in November. Because in November, man, you have the benefit of having a pretty backloaded schedule. You got Missouri, Bama, LSU. All 3 of those preseason or top 15. I don't think it's irresponsible to ask for LSU to find their way into the top 10 and have it be 3 top 10 wins to end the season. The big thing we need to have established with Oklahoma when it comes to Selection Sunday, and you're sitting there, you're feeling nervous, a little bit of caffeine pulsing through the system. You know, you've been probably awake for the better part of 4 hours if you're an Oklahoma fan leading into this reveal. I need there to be this argument from a Greg McElroy or a Kirk Herbstreit, some side of the table saying Oklahoma should be in because they have proven they are a different team than what we saw them be earlier in the year because they just reeled off 3 top 10 wins from Missouri, Bama, and LSU. That's what I need to have happen if Oklahoma is going to find their way into the college football playoff as a 9-win team with 3 losses. The last team here, and again, we said this at the top of the show, they're all from the SEC, just kind of the way the deck is shuffled. South Carolina has a brutal schedule, but sometimes, man, the obstacle is the way. Yes, the obstacle is that you have to play 8 ranked teams in the preseason, but if you find a way to win enough of those games the right way and have the right style points, like you might be able to find your way into this college football playoff discussion. Are we ready to have this talk about South Carolina making the 12-team playoff after all of the nasty things that are circulating on the internet right now around Shane Beamer? He's quirky, he's corny, he's not going to win in the SEC. Those were some fluky games against Tennessee and Clemson in 2022. Are we ready to have this discussion? I think we are. LSU, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Bama, Oklahoma, A&M, Missouri, Clemson, all preseason ranked opponents for them. They have the November set up to where I think they need to have A&M, Missouri, and Clemson all be ideally in the top 10. The perfect storm is a loss to a top 10 LSU, a top 5 Ole Miss, and then a top 10, top 5 if you can manage it, Mike Elko and company, Texas A&M. Because that would leave South Carolina with 4 wins and honestly a pretty evenly distributed number of losses across their schedule. Like I don't see this multiple loss in a row situation for South Carolina. I don't see it where they lose a ton of games at the end of the season. Like if you reel off a couple of wins at the end there and have it be 2 top 10 wins against Missouri and hopefully Clemson, if they hold up there into the bargain, and to finish with a bang at Clemson, could be massive, and that could be exactly what the doctor ordered. Again, I think the most likely 9-3 college football playoff team is Florida. It could be very possible we see none of these teams find their way in. But the fact it's a discussion, the fact that we're talking about it, it's a new world of college football and a new way, a new lens to view the regular season. So Florida, Oklahoma, South Carolina, I believe are all the best candidates to make the college football playoff with 3 losses. But with that being said, let me know in the comment section, on my Twitter page, on my Instagram page, at Jody Pickell. Follow me there as well. Let me know how you feel about these teams and or who you think is the best candidate to make the playoff at 9-3. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.